Welcome back friends to GamersPR. If first-person shooters are your thing, these upcoming titles should get you excited. Here's our list of the top 14 best upcoming FPS games of 2020, and we're sure that you'll find a couple of surprises in there. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button to not miss any of our weekly videos. Halo Infinite. Along with some new details about our Project Scarlett, the upcoming Microsoft console, we also learned the new platforms will release with Halo Infinite as a launch game. Despite those assurances, Microsoft is still keeping details pretty close to the chest on Halo Infinite. The game was announced with a cryptic 2-minute trailer that doesn't really tell us what the game is. This story will mark the beginning of the new chapter and challenge for the Chief, but it will also respect and continue threads that lead to this point. Dying Light 2. Taking place in a city, Dying Light 2 puts in charge of Aiden Caldwell, who is forced to make difficult decisions in order to ensure not only his own survival but also that of those close to him and the region as a whole. In Dying Light 2, your choices help shape the narrative as well as the world, which Techland claims is 4 times larger than the sandbox of the first Dying Light. Dying Light 2 is set to hit PlayStation 4, Xbox One and PC in the spring of 2020. Cyberpunk 2077. It features a street cred system that lets you build a name for yourself, opening up new contracts and opportunities as you become well known for your adventures. The game pits players against a world of criminality and technology, but they won't necessarily be on their own for long. Developer CD Projekt Red has confirmed that multiplayer is coming to the game. Cyberpunk 2077 has been dated for April 16, 2020 for PS4, Xbox One and PC. Rainbow Six Quarantine. Ubisoft has continued to support Rainbow Six Siege even years after its original release, but Rainbow Six fans now have a brand new game to look forward to as well. Rainbow Six Quarantine is a brand new 3-player tactical shooter that will ask players to work together to survive a deadly parasite. You will risk everything every time you step into quarantine, or so we've been told. It looks sick. I mean, the guy in the trailer looks sick. Quarantine will release in 2020 for PS4, Xbox One and PC. Payday 3. Get the gang together again, the third entry of the Cops vs Robbers FPS franchise Payday. Swedish game developer and publisher Starbreeze has been very active lately. In late January they raised 44 million to speed up the production of Payday 3 and cover marketing cost of overkills. They make it a point that Payday 3 being in development is something they are taking very seriously. In the earnings report they mentioned they're going to put in as much time as they need to make the game the best that it can be. Ready or Not. The Ready or Not release date has finally been announced, along with the new footage demonstrating the project's progress in 2 years. The new tactical first-person shooter developed by Void Interactive appears to be a spiritual successor to SWAT, with a strong emphasis on realism, with plans for both an alpha and beta version before the game fully releases. A playable build is expected to become available before the end of the year. Void Interactive have consulted with police teams globally in order to create rules of engagement and scoring systems that are both challenging and realistic in order to push the bar further with realism. Ready or Not models, ballistic penetration, ricochet, Kevlar and plate dynamics as well as projectile expansion and momentum. CrossFireX. Smilegate showed off its new tactical shooter at Xbox briefing, but the brief trailer didn't give us a lot to learn about the project. The earlier incarnation of Crossfire was hugely popular in Asia, and it seems the new sequel is coming to Xbox One before any other consoles. It's an authentic military-themed FPS where 2 rival factions, Global Risk and Blacklist, with opposing worldview engage in armed conflict around the world. Global Risk is an international private military organization that strives to fight for their own justice by helping the weak and refusing jobs that go against their beliefs. And Blacklist is a terrorist organization. The trailer is all cinematics, so it's hard to get much of a sense of the gameplay at this point. However, we do know the game will hit Xbox One in 2020. Predator: Hunting Grounds. Those who have been hoping for a game that lets them live out their fantasies of becoming the Predator, the universe's apex hunter might finally be in luck with Predator: Hunting Grounds. Coming from developer Ilphonic during the state of play itself, the narration afterward explained that the title is an asymmetric multiplayer shooter, implying something similar to Evolve or Dead by Daylight, where one player takes control of the stronger units while every other player is a weaker but a more numerous unit, like the Soldier. While players are trying to complete the objectives to leave the jungle, the Predator will enter the game. This is when things get interesting. It's that duality that makes things particularly interesting when the game takes turn and the Predator enters into play. You never know what will happen. Will the Predator hunt down the fire team and take these trophies, or will the fire team accomplish their mission and hunt down the Predator? It keeps the gameplay intense and fast-paced, something they try to convey in the trailer. Predator Hunting Grounds will release on PlayStation 4 in 2020. Disintegration. The sci-fi oriented action game from Halo co-creator Marcus Leto, a world filled with robots seemingly going on a quest to reboot humanity. Players control a crew of AI companions while monitoring the action from above. You're not just an observer, though your vehicle, known as the Graph Cycle, is kitted out with both offensive weapons and defensive capabilities, as your crew of mechanized bodies scramble on the ground below. You direct their actions by issuing commands via beacons and buttons presses while also taking out rivals with your own attack. Serious Sam 4 Planet Badass. It's been a while since we had a Serious Sam game. The last mainline game was Serious Sam 3 BFE, which was released over 7 years ago. Several Serious Sam VR games have also been released since last year. Now developer, Crow Team and publisher Devolver Digital have officially announced Serious Sam 4 Planet Badass. Fight and explore your way through a huge environment populated with optional objectives, secrets and deadly ambitions. But fear not, Serious Sam 4 Planet Badass is still a focused, linear experience you have come to love and not an open world game. Dead Matter. Do you have what it takes to survive a horde of the Walking Dead in the mountains of the foothills of Alberta? A new video game aims to put people's zombie fighting skills to the test. Quantum Integrity Software, a Calgary-based company, has set out to turn Alberta into a zombie-infested wasteland in Dead Matter. The company's website says the game is almost fully customizable and that players will have full control over the avatars. The gaming world can also be modified. Dead Matter is a true sandbox survivor horror. Players will fight to survive in a zombie-packed, post-apocalyptic world that fosters whichever playstyle fits you best. Settle down and defend your home from outside threats with an expensive crafting and barricading system. Cultivate and live off the land, or branch out, explore and scavenge whatever vehicles, weapons and food you may find in a zombie-plagued Alberta alone or with your friends. Bright Memory Infinite. Bright Memory, a blend of FPS and Devil May Cry style combo-heavy combat by sole developer FYQD, is to restart development almost after selling better than expected in early access. Those who bought the original Episode 1 version of the game will be upgraded to the new Bright Memory Infinite when it's released. Although it's anyone's guess how long that will take, the new version of the game is aiming to be a short but sweet 3 hours long, but with a rewritten story and major rework planned for the levels in the initial release. System Shock. The production of Night Dive Studio remake of the PC classic System Shock hasn't exactly been smooth. Kickstarted back in 2016, the project went on hiatus after the studio decided it needed to reassess where everything was going. It is a remake of the 1994 video game of the same name, originally developed by Looking Glass Technology. A year after a pause and a major shift in development, we go hands-on with Night Dive's remake. The game was originally supposed to be out by late 2017 in December, but ended up encountering development delays and was then put on hiatus. After the Fall. From the creators of the hit VR shooter Arizona Sunshine comes an epic multiplayer VR action FPS with seamless, cooperative gameplay at its core that pits up to 4 players against a vast, hostile VR world in a raging fight. Set in the ice-covered ruins of LA nearly 20 years after the apocalypse, The Fall combines a living, breathing VR world shared with players from all over the world. A cinematic and atmospheric campaign, action-packed solo and multiplayer gameplay, and endgame built from the ground up to VR for survival. Players will be able to explore an LA trapped in an alternate 1980s, scavenging whatever remains to craft a range of deadly ranged and melee weapons to fight against the different hordes of snow breeds. Specials will test those skills, while awe-inspiring bosses will provide a monstrous challenge. And it's not just weapons you can build. Armor and other gear can be upgraded and modded to ensure survival in a snow-covered landscape. Thank you guys for watching the video. Tell us in the comments what you think about this list and the games you're most excited about. If you liked the video, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel for more lists like this. See you next time.